Soccer Stadium for tonight's 2024 South Metro Conference Championship between Apple Valley Eagles and the #1 seed Eagan Wildcats.
Now let's meet both teams. First, for Apple Valley, senior number 2, Vivian Chen. Junior number 3, Desiree Fredericks. 9th grader number 4, Marissa Stoffer. Senior number 5, Faith Hoff. Sophomore number 6, Sophia Hallgren. Sophomore number 7, Leah Hoffman. Sophomore number 8, Kayla Georgeson. 9th grader number 10, Jocelyn Richards. Junior number 11, Kaylee Taylor. Junior, number 12, Sophie Helmfred. Senior, number 13, Riley Lamberson. Senior, number 13, Mary March. Sophomore, number 14, Anne Marie Arambulo. Senior captain, number 15, Grace Alogbo. Junior, number 16, Delina Tazazu. Senior captain, number 19, Maggie Glad. Senior, number 20, V. Wen. Junior, number 21, Olivia Tainter. Senior, number 23, Rose Kewen. Sophomore, number 24, Emma Schwartz. Junior captain, number 25, Halima Mahamud. Sophomore, number 29, An Wen. Sophomore, number 30, Stella Wines. Sophomore, number 44, India Rutten. Junior, number 55, Tessa Myers. Senior, number 83, Taylor Condes. And senior captain, number 95, Megan Wynn. The Eagles are coached by Rachel Knutson. And now for the Eagan Wildcats. Ninth grader, number 3, Eva Herman. Ninth grader, number 4, Libby Currens. Ninth grader, number 7, Kate Papinga. Junior captain, number 8, Anna Finwall. Senior, number 9, Lily Cordina. Senior captain, number 10, Abby Kewen. Sophomore, number 12, Lucy Schenecker. Sophomore, number 13, Kira Schumacher. Junior, number 15, Savannah Ward. Ninth grader, number 16, Lauren Shimmick. Ninth grader, number 18, Ella Walters. Senior spirit captain, number 20, Kelly Raleigh. Ninth grader, number 21, Magnolia Mackey. Ninth grader, number 23, Alice Loshi. Senior, number 46, Alana Goffman. Junior, number 50, Morgan Egbert. And senior spirit captain, number 80, Natalie Valaga. Eagan is coached by Alicia Carr, Pete Carr, Austin Malberg, and Allie Bosshart. Good luck to both teams.
Good evening and welcome to Johnny Cake Ridge Stadium in Apple Valley, Minnesota. It's the ultimate Frisbee premiere on Eagan television. My name is Skip Newton. Joining me is Justin Wallen. Tonight's matchup, it's the South Metro Conference Championship between the Apple Valley Eagles and your Eagan Wildcats. Justin, big matchup here. What do you think about this matchup? We got number 1 versus number 5.
Yeah, fun day for some ultimate, that's for sure. We got a little bit of a breeze rolling through, so we're probably going to see some zone today, and it's definitely going to make things interesting throughout the course of the game.
Yeah, I love the fact that you brought up the weather because it plays a factor in a lot of sports, maybe no more so when it comes to the wind than Ultimate Frisbee.
That is true. Yeah, playing ultimate is a much different sport when you get on the elements there. It's not like football. It's not like baseball where the wind's not doing too much of an impact. Maybe for football a little bit if you're throwing it deep, but definitely with ultimate, that disc is going to float in the air a lot, especially when you're going upwind. So we'll see how that's going to make an impact on a lot of these throwing abilities of these young gals coming in for the game here.
Little bit of a background here for those viewers that may not be familiar with Ultimate Frisbee. It's a sport played 7-on-7. You've got end zones at both ends, and we'll get into more of the finer rules as we get into it, but there are basically 2 45-minute halves. First team to 15 is the winner. Otherwise, at the end of the time, whoever has the highest score, of course, wins the game. Both teams, conference championship, playing for potential seeding in the upcoming state tournament, which is not this weekend, of course, Memorial Day weekend, but the weekend after that, big state tournament time, and Eagan has a history of some success at the state tournament level.
Yeah, with the impact from the rankings here today, definitely making some changes for the bracket for the state. Everyone's going to be putting everything on the line here today, so it should be some fun plays being seen out there. Hopefully safe plays. Hopefully everyone's going home here, not with too many injuries. So hopefully a lot of fun, safe plays out there.
Yeah, both teams are familiar with the South Metro Championship game. Apple Valley comes in having won the South Metro Championship in years 2015, 16, 17, and 19. So 4 out of 5 years they won this game. Eagan comes in, they've won a couple of times, 2018 and 2021. They were the runner-up last year, 2023, and they finished 5th in the state last year. Coach Pete Carr has been doing this for quite some time, plenty of assistant coaches. I know my own daughter went through the program, went on to play at the University of Minnesota, so a great program for the girls. They're excited. I'm sure they're pumped to get things going. Of course, for the seniors, this is their last conference championship and, state tournament on graduation weekend. Never ideal for Eagan, but still an awesome experience.
Yeah, it's every year for that tournament. It's always scheduled right during Eagan's graduation. So we've run into that issue ever since I was a high schooler there back in 2013, my senior year. We played as many games as we could at state and then hustled down to the campus for graduation. It was a very jam-packed day, that's for sure.
The commitment level, you brought it up, but I think it warrants a little more discussion. The commitment level every year has always been interesting and pretty commendable from my perspective as a parent, where, like you said, the players show up, they play every possible point that they can, right up until the point where, okay, we have to get home, take a quick shower, and get ready for graduation. Of course, they go to the all-night party. They're there, right? It's Sunday morning. They're coming back to play, game day 2 of the state tournament on what's got to be as little sleep as possible. It's always very impressive.
Yeah, it is a fun tradition, whether it's enjoyed or just thrust upon us. It is a fun challenge every year, and it's fun to see the athletes go through it.
All right, we're getting ready to start this one off fairly quickly. As you can see, the Apple Valley team starting to take the field, but they're starting 7 for the opening point. Eagan looks like they're lined up to our right. Eagan wearing their home green uniforms. Again, we'll be going right to left. Apple Valley wearing their visiting white, even though it's on what I assume is their home stadium. So not sure who's going to have the opening pole. It looks like Eagan is having the opening pole, so they will, in essence, throw it down the field or kick off for those of you who want the football terminology. But the opening pole going down, the Apple Valley will take possession, and then they try to advance it down the field. Again, for those of you who aren't familiar, any disc that lands out of play or hits the ground, that's a turnover, and then back to their team.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what defense Apple Valley comes up, or Eagan comes up with first. We'll see how far Abby can get the disc going here on this pull.
Well, we mentioned the significant wind, and I'm trying to get an idea if it's coming from our backs, so if it's coming from the back of the camera. So it is a crosswind, which will probably force a lot of play on the far side of the field. So we'll see that typically in the polls. It'll just take off on the girls, regardless if they wanted to or not.
Yeah, we'll probably see in a lot of zone on that far side, like you mentioned there. That's definitely going to be some of the strategy coming in here this afternoon.
There we go. We get one off. It's a nice one. Wind no longer a factor. Apple Valley quickly picks it up, starts to advance it down the field. There is a 10-second stall count. The player with the disc in hand, they need to get rid of it within 10 seconds or it will be a turnover. One thing that our viewers will notice, there are no referees in this game. The players call all calls themselves, and they dispute anything that isn't an easy one, and they have to come to some sort of a conclusion. Apple Valley doing a nice job so far, and there's a nice defensive play that is made by number 23, Eagan, with the defense. That's Rose Kuhn, or excuse me, wrong 23, wrong sheet, my bad. 23, that's Alice Loshi. Long
big
one, just in and out of the hands. There's a turnover back to Eagan. They'll get things set up here. Now, there's such a thing, Justin, as a pre-stall. Do you see that usually at the high school level?
It maybe towards the end of the season in some windier situations you might see that, but I honestly don't see too many of the coaches in the organization these days teaching the pre-stall. If it's aggressive, that's when I usually try to have one of my more veteran players kind of talk about getting the pace quickened up a little bit with one of their players on the field, but it's not usually called at the high school level.
That long one just out of the reach of Valaga in the end zone, so the turnover by Eagan right back to Eagan as Apple Valley unable to complete their first one here. So an opportunity here for the first point of the game. Abby Kuhn, the handler, looking for an open option, looking for cutters. Throws one in, and we have our first point. Nicely done.
Not too many handler options, so the end result there, just a high stall count with a nice throw into the back corner of the end zone where there's no defenders, and a nice grab for a nice goal.
So that was Abby Kuhn with the assist, throwing to Kelly Raleigh. First point of the game, tallied by Eagan, and we'll have a break after the first point. Let's take that break. We'll throw it back to the truck. Guys, go ahead and hit that commercial break if you will. Appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen in the stadium, for reference, Eagan will be the home team.
Honey, what I think you need is a socket wrench.
I played JV basketball.
I'm sorry. I don't think it looks right.
This is good, and it's all
Is
good,
it,
baby.
Is it really all good?
If you love me enough to routinely test your handyman skills, not to mention the strength of your marriage, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/therightseat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
I'm gonna call my dad.
Back at Johnny Cake Ridge Stadium here. First point of the game going to the Eagan Wildcats. After every point they switch sides, so they'll be now pulling left to right. Typically, this is when you see the team receiving the pull, put together what's called the O-line, is that correct? And then the pulling team starting with their D-line. Is that the usual strategy you get in these games?
Yeah, every coach has got their own strategy, of course, but typically you'll see the team pulling with the disc, setting up with the defensive line, a lot of individuals on the 7 there that can help generate Ds and get a break opportunity.
That pole looked like it got up into the wind. It started to do some fairly interesting things that defied the laws of physics a little bit. landing out of bounds, which puts it basically. What's the rule on if it lands out of bounds? Where do the teams get to take the first possession?
Yeah, if a disc lands out of bounds, you get it at the middle of the field. And if it's in front of the brick mark, you'll get it past the brick mark wherever it landed out of bounds. So you want to make sure that pull is either staying in bounds or at least going deep enough before going out of bounds so the offensive unit doesn't have too big of an advantage coming in off the pull.
Nice grab there by Apple Valley. One hand reach. Looked like it was just starting to get away from her.
Yeah, Eagan's coming out here with zone like we talked about in the pre-show. Definitely throwing that zone to utilize the wind as an extra defender, essentially to help generate some defenses there. Just like that, Eagan coming in with the disc on a nice block there by number 80, Natalie.
Eagan with a forehand long one, but that's out of the reach, and you see the wind just start to push that thing down. One thing to note, too, it's not where it lands. It's where the disc rolls and eventually stops. A lot of times you'll see the defensive team purposely stop that disc so they can take possession there. But, of course, if it rolls into the end zone, you get to at least take it out a few yards past the goal line.
Yeah, that is correct. You got to be lively with the disc rolling around like that with some wind. I've played some tournaments in Iowa where people are laying out just to stop the disc after the turnover just so the disc doesn't fly too far away.
That one just out of the hands of number 13, Mary March of Apple Valley. Now Kewen will take over for Wildcats, trying to get their second point here early. Just unable to connect. Intended for Raleigh once again. That was the connection on the first point. We're down under 39 minutes here in the first half. Oh, a nice low catch there, saving possession. A big one right at the goal line. That would have been a critical turnover.
Apple Valley's being very patient with the disc, which what you're gonna want to see all day, especially with the wind seeming to pick up now as I hear it coming through our window here in the booth. Another turnover.
That was number 15, Grace Alogbo, just off her hands. Abby Kewen with it. She's got a cutter open. Fake short, goes long, and there's the wind pushing that one. You'll see the knockdown as the disc continues to fly in the wind.
Yeah, Kewen's liking that first look out of the back of the end zone there. Seemingly pretty defended by Apple Valley's defensive set there on the person D. So I think Abby's got to either start looking to her handlers on some swing movement or at least shuffling through that vertical stack there to try to get that second cut coming open for her.
Olivia Tainter with possession now, looking for an open teammate.
That cup has been doing pretty good in preventing a lot of Apple Valley's cutters coming through the cup there. So they're holding the zone pretty well here to start the quarter or the half.
Now, when you're playing a zone like this, what is the general strategy to break that and really get the disc moving down the field? What are they looking to do?
They were trying to get the swing going off, which is definitely the mentality, trying to either take a dump, to lose a couple yards on a handler swing, to try to swing the disc over to the break side on a continuation throw to move the disc over to the easy side of the field.
A nice point there for the Wildcats. Did not go to the intended target, I don't think, but you see that a lot in Frisbee, especially with the wind like this. It'll wreak havoc with that disc. A nice point there for Eagan.
Definitely, yeah. You are always looking for that garbage man to come through and pick up that extra leftover disc that is either getting tipped over. Always looking for that extra person.
So I didn't get the number on the goal, but the assist again, Abby Kewen doing her job as handler. So nice job there for the Wildcats. They take a 2-0 lead here under 36 minutes, and once again, we'll toss it over to the guys in the truck. We'll be back after this short break.
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
You know, how you feel on the inside is just as important to me as how you feel on the outside.
Oh, Daddy.
Quick pull there by the Wildcats, so we are back to live action here in Apple Valley. It was Natalie Valaga with that point on the last possession for the Wildcats, taking a 2-0 lead. Apple Valley doing a nice job advancing this one down to the Eagan half of the field. We'll see what they can do here, but unable to connect. Turnover back to the Wildcats, their first possession on this point.
Apple Valley coming in with some person D, forcing to the home side here. Or I guess away side for them, for Apple Valley.
So switching up the defensive strategy. This is Anna Finwall with it. She quickly connects to her teammate, Lucy Schenecker. Back to Alice Loshi. She has possession now. Backhand's knocked down. Nice defensive play.
Yeah, looks like the disc was led a little bit behind the receiver there, which allowed the defender to get the D for the Apple Valley.
That one just out of the reach of Mary Marge, so Eagan will take possession again. They're going to go long. They've got an open one down. Nice job.
Anna being very heads up with the disc on that turnover.
Schenecker got open deep. Perfect throw. That one's a little long, a little high. Knocked down. Nice defensive play for the Eagles.
Eagan coming out with a person defense here, switching away from that zone that worked out well for him last point.
Oh, a nice grab there. That one's just out of the reach, too high for Taylor Condis. Schenecker had that one, dropped it. Happens to the best of them, I'm sure. Immediately trying to look for that open teammate afterwards. Find a lot of the success in Ultimate, the teams that avoid what I'll call unforced errors like that, right?
Yeah, definitely. The teams that are able to maintain possession of the disc and are able to utilize the full width of the field are typically the ones you're going to see dominating, especially at the high school level here.
Here's a possession right on the goal line, not quite in, but there it is, the first point of the game for the Eagles.
Great give-and-go movement between the handlers there for Apple Valley. Quick change of speed, quick change of pace, and get the defender on their heels. That was a great, easy score there for the offensive handler movement there by Apple Valley.
I think it was Megan Wynn on the assist. I'm not sure, but I'm getting the nod of approval from the official scorekeeper.
I wonder if Pete and Alicia Carr might end up switching the defensive set here for WUFTA after seeing that person defense getting toasted a little bit easily there. I don't know. It seemed like their zone defense was doing a little bit more damage.
Yeah, I was going to say I was a little surprised with the change, but you never know, right? If the personnel that they're switching out, maybe they play better, man-on-man defense. No idea, right? But I like the fact that they're willing to mix things up. I think that makes it a bit of a challenge for the other team. One of the things also I wanted to bring up was the fact that, again, for viewers maybe new to Ultimate Frisbee, that once the point starts, there's no substitutions until that point is ending, unless there's an injury, right? If an injury happens, then of course you take an injured player out, but otherwise you are you are locked into those 7 players until the end of the point.
Yeah, Frisbee is definitely a sport that relies on the endurance of their athletes, and it comes down often to just who wants it more and who can run the longest, especially on some of these windier days where the points can be a little bit longer with a lot more unforced turnovers from the wind. Definitely can take a toll on the athlete throughout the course of the point, not being able to come out other than substitution.
So as a guy who's done a lot of coaching over the years and a lot of playing, what do you feel is the ideal team size? Numbers-wise of players?
Sure. I guess it kind of depends on the level, the age of the athletes that you're working with. Kind of would vary between, at the club level, roster for the tournament is 28 individuals. So that's what you see. I'd put my money around 28. At the high school level, I think roster cap more towards about, I think it's 21 for a tournament, I think, something around that number. But you definitely want to have enough lines so that everyone isn't getting tight. I'd say three lines, 4 lines would be great. So anywhere from about 21 to 28 would be a good size for a tournament.
Yeah, and you mentioned tournament play, and we should talk a little bit about that, because right now we're just talking about one game and one night, so you can get away with fewer players. You're only playing one match. But a lot of times these tournaments, these kids are playing 3-4 games in a row, and that's where those numbers can really make a difference. As Eagan moving it down and just knocked away at the goal line, Apple Valley take possession deep in their own territory. But with 3-4 games in day 1, then you come back day 2, play another 3 games. I mean, that's a lot of running, and if you're short on people, that could be a big time. And there's a big drop by Apple Valley. This could be huge for the Wildcats, trying to get that 3rd point, go back to a 2-point lead.
Different end zone set here from Eagan as their cutters are set up on the back line instead of a vert stack. Isolation cut by number 15, and it's a goal.
Savannah Ward, nice point there. Ewan once again on the assist. Savannah Ward with some quick cutting. Happen to know multiple sport athlete, plays soccer. I've learned over the years soccer players transition pretty nicely on the Ultimate Frisbee team with their ability to cut.
Yeah, the Eagan program has definitely had a history of having a lot of depth and a lot of speed and endurance from a lot of soccer players coming into the program, both in the female matching and the open side divisions. So big props to all the Eagan soccer coaches out there, bringing us some great talent to the program.
So 3 points so far for the Wildcats. We'll recap those really quick. Number 20, Kelly Raleigh had the first point. The second one, Natalie Valaga, and now the third one just here, Savannah Ward. All 3 thanks to the great handling of Abby Ewan. So she's got all 3 assists. She's holding the disc right now, ready to do the pull. I don't think we got enough time to take a break, but probably get started fairly quickly. So just both teams getting some coaching recommendations, some last-second advice before the point. Pretty typical, I would say, right, where a point is scored and it gives the coach, basically 60 seconds or so to talk to the 7 that are on the field.
Yeah, there's definitely a set time between points that is intended to happen, so the game can progress, but sometimes the points can run a little bit long between scores.
And you can utilize timeouts. How many timeouts does each team get in a match?
It changes between tournament play and typical regular season play like this. We get two timeouts per half here in today's game. Typically, you'll see coaches use it to either save some endurance for athletes, give them a rest after or in the middle of a long point. Sometimes you'll see it on the end zone line to allow the offensive to set up in position to have an isolation cut or make some other end zone type of play. It's typically going to see those timeouts take place very strategically because you only get 2 of them per half. Eagan did switch back to the zone there. I see the Cup doing some good work, and the Apple Valley Poppers not seeming to make too much effort to come through the wall. As they, of course, here, as they swing the disc around and are utilizing the rail cuts, they do a great job of getting around that wall pretty good there.
So far, Apple Valley has not scored a point against the zone. They did get their one on the person defense. We'll see if that holds true. An errant pass here goes straight to handler Ewan. Looking for an open teammate. No doubt facing a stall count that's getting up there. She better get rid of it soon. Feels awfully long, but she goes deep.
Trying to go through the middle of the field there, and you got all the defenders in the stack with the easy D there between the two of them.
Yeah, Halima Mohamud was there to help knock that one down. She immediately picked it up, chucked it over to Megan Wynn.
And the Cup with another forced turn on a tough swing in that wind. Very strategic utilization there.
Kewen looking to capitalize quickly. Did not get a good delivery there. Once that disc gets just a little bit of a off flat, off horizontal, boy, that's where the wind just completely takes over.
Yeah, the slow transition here by Apple Valley offense allows for Eagan to set up their Cup pretty stoutly before the plays even began. Good shot. Oh, and that's a great way to get around the Cup there.
Immediately, Apple Valley gets up to midfield. Brilliant job getting out of their own end zone there. Pinned up against the corner. Nice long one. Oh, knocked away. Great defensive play. That was number 46 for the Wildcats, Alana Goffman. Kewen looking for an open cutter. She goes long again.
Not a lot of offensive movement there for the Wildcats. Not seeing a lot of handler resets to open up for Kewen. Causing her to throw that deep shot there into some tough wind. That's gonna be an easy way for turnovers throughout the rest of the day.
So lineup of 7 people, on the field at any given time. How many handlers do you want ideally out of those 7?
Yes, the offense you see here, Eagan running. You see the 2 handlers in the backfield there, and typically the person setting the stack in a vertical stack like that is also the 3rd handler. Typically you got a 3-4 set between 4 cutters and 3 handlers. Eagan set up with that ISO cut there, just putting it to the back of the end zone. Just out of the reach there.
Yeah, landed between 2 Wildcats in the back of the end zone, so Apple Valley gets to pick that one up and take it back out to the goal line where they can start anew.
Eagan not looking to utilize their handler swings or handler movement too much. Apple Valley's going to have to do it themselves against this wall, this Cup here in the zone. Good fakes.
Apple Valley had a girl running a deep route, but tough one to execute in this wind, I would imagine, throwing one over half the length of the field. See what they do. We've seen patience so far.
Getting dangerously close to the sideline there. Eagan doing a great job of trapping on this sideline, not getting anything off other than that high pass. And that potential, it is.
Oh, she's not
She
in.
looks like she's in the end zone.
She
Scheneker is checking her
for it.
feet to see if this is a goal. If this is caught in the end zone, that would be a Callahan thrown by Apple Valley offense, caught by Eagan.
And it is. That is not something we see very often. A Callahan, which was definitely wind aided, because that thing was headed towards us in the booth and completely blew back into the end zone.
That's exactly what you're looking to have happen with that stout zone defense there, causing that throw to go very high into the sky with that upfield wind. Great, exactly what you're looking for. I see big smile on Alicia Carr's face there. Definitely what she's looking for out of her zone defense there.
All right, let's leverage that point and take a quick break. We'll throw it to the guys in the truck. We'll be back after this short one.
Wash, washy, wash, washy, wash, wash your hands. Scrub it while you sing this song. Wash, washy, wash, washy, wash, wash. Rub your hands and fingers and the places in between. Using soap and water makes your hands so clean. Wash your hands. Great job, you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now dry.
Wash your hands for 20 seconds, just like Elmo.
All right, we are back in Apple Valley for the South Metro Conference Championship Ultimate Frisbee style. It is 4-1 Eagan Wildcats If you were here right before the break, you saw a rare thing in Ultimate Frisbee, a Callahan, the Ultimate Frisbee version of the pick six, caught in the end zone defensively. It's not a common occurrence. I've watched years of Ultimate Frisbee, and I think I've only seen a couple live. Just happened to see one at the last tournament on the field next to one our team was playing on. But a huge one there. That was scored by number 12, Lucy Schenecker. Didn't even realize she was in the zone when she first caught it, but took a little bit of a break to look and figured it out.
Yeah, it's definitely a rare occurrence, and when it does happen, whether it's in a game for real or if it's at practice, you guys are doing pickup in the local park, whenever it does occur, it is always a great celebration because you just don't see it too much. Great pull well into the Apple Valley side there.
And that one was just completed before Valika could get a hand on it. She was about a step away from a knockdown. Apple Valley moving it quickly. Nicely done. Getting up to Marge.
Yeah, the way to beat this type of defensive, this cup that Eagan's throwing out is to swing the disc, utilize those rail cutters on the far sidelines, and really going around the cup as opposed to trying to jam throw through the middle of it.
Well, and again, from a novice perspective, a person who's watched a lot of Ultimate Frisbee, but I've never played, I've never coached, so I'm by far and away relying on your expertise. It just seems logical that once you break the zone or the cup, as you say, you have to have open players at that point, because you had 3 people guarding the handler. That numbers suggest that, okay, other people are going to be open. If you move it quickly, then it'll be really tough for the defense to recover.
Hey, you hit it right on the head there. As soon as that disc either goes right through that wall or through the cup there's a lot of opportunity for continuation cuts to progress for a lot of yardage for gains against a zone defense like this.
It looks like they've gone back to person defense, but this one right into the hands of Kewen. Not a big deal that she didn't catch it.
Yeah, she gets to pick up and bring it to the front of the end zone. On a turnover in the end zone, you get to bring it up and tackle it from the front line.
Valika fakes long, cuts back. Long throw just out of the reach of a couple of Wildcats. Thought maybe the second one, the deeper girl, was going to be able to snatch that one out of the air. I think that was Lauren Shimmick at the back there, but she can't get it, but Apple Valley quickly turns it back over to the Wildcats.
Apple Valley coming that person defense again, going one-on-one. Finally, some handler movement from Ufta with a great continuation shot to the end zone. And number 15 looks like unable to come down with it. Savannah Ward. Great cut, great continuation play from Ufta offense there.
I don't know if the wind was a factor on that one. It definitely looked like she had to switch which shoulder she was looking over. That's a tough challenge when you're running full speed. You switch shoulders, maybe you turn around, you're looking right in the sun.
Yeah, those deep shots definitely come much more difficult in this type of terrain out here.
Ward almost able to pull that one down just off her fingertips. Knocked down in the end zone for the turnover. Here's Apple Valley coming out with just under 18 minutes to go in the half. Apple Valley trailing 4-1. So the terminology is where I definitely lack. So I'm going to have you help. When they throw the disc, when they pass it, it's a generally referred to as just, is it a pass?
Yeah, I guess pass is the term that we use here.
The longer ones.
Yeah, sure. Longer ones would be, I guess the terminology for those would be called huck.
Okay.
Or deep shot. I mean, you kind of hear a little bit of both of the terminology, but huck is typically what folks would refer to as a long shot.
When my oldest first started playing, my daughter, all the dads on the sidelines went with every sort of football reference we could do, and boy, she hated that.
Yeah, definitely a lot of comparisons between football and ultimate. You see a lot of games being played just on turf fields for football fields where the markings and the yardages is right there on the field, which is nice.
That long one by the Eagles just out of reach. Wildcats take over. They're going to go long.
Megan Wynn with a D. And she'll look to pick up here. She's generating a lot of the offensive movement. Just like that, on a deep shot there to number 13 for Apple Valley, Mary March. But another turnover for the Apple Valley Eagles.
Eagan just caught that one straight.
Yeah, a lot of deep shots coming up here, which, as you can see, are generating a lot of turnovers. Both teams should be looking to dial it in here.
Oh, Wynn with a nice job finding the open cutter down to the right. She had it just out of her hands. It was a brilliant throw.
Tough cross-field shot there through a lot of directional changes. That definitely a tough one to come down with.
Haven't seen a lot of calls yet today so far. I mean, it's been a clean game, not a lot of fouls. Wildcats going back to their zone.
And a hand block from Anna. It's clean. It looked like there might have been a discussion, but 21 isn't going to call anything there. Another great turnover for the Wildcat defense here.
I was assuming that the broadcaster's curse was going to take over, and that immediately after I said it, that the call was going to happen. Nice job by Ewan to find the open target. Unfortunately, just out of the hands there of Egbert. Disappointed in herself, but one thing you got to do in this sport, you got to shake it off, be a goldfish, as it were.
Definitely, there's like we talked about earlier, a continuous point. You got to be able to play through the highs and lows. So even through a turnover, you gotta be active on that transition, so you can play some tight defense and try to get that disc back for your team.
Making it look easy there, but that one a little high out of the outstretched arms of Mohamud. Here's a long one. Ward trying to get under it. The wind takes that one out of play.
She read the disc pretty well, but the field, unfortunately, just not wide enough, and the disc will land out of bounds for Eagan again.
Valaga joining the defensive zone there up close, number 80.
Megan Wynn with the disc again. Gonna generate a decent opportunity there. We talked about it earlier, the disc rolling away with the wind picking up. Unfortunately, Eagan will be coming up with about a 20-yard end zone shot here as opposed to a 3 to 5. Great strike by Abby Ewan. And a good holster on the first throw, utilizing that full stall count.
She's got Ward. Oh, and just out of her hands. Nice cut by Ward. Just couldn't connect. I was going to say on that last one with the long roll, it was a heads-up play by the Eagle player to not touch it once it hit the ground, just let it roll. Good job gaining possession. That if she hadn't done that, maybe Eagan scores on that first one.
Yeah, you definitely want to allow the elements to take its course and let the disc roll there if that's what's happening with the way that it's lying.
Oh, a nice couple of catches there. Oh, she didn't maintain possession through the round. I thought she had that.
Yeah, it looked like she might have had the disc, but Ultimate Frisbee is very much focused around this concept known as spirit of the game. And it looked like she could have maybe walked away with that disc, but she let intentionality or honesty come forth, and there you see it happen where the disc turns over. Good indeeds, good intentions, turn over for good opportunities as well on the other side.
Long one falls to the ground, but gaining a lot of field position are the Eagles, so Eagan starting their own territory, but Ward is wide open on the near side.
Oh, Abby with a great strike cut up line there.
Nice job going up high for that one, catching it at its high point.
There's some break swings looking finally from Eagan's offense here. Allows the disc to get to the far side of the field. Just a tough one to come down with by Valaga.
Yeah, Finwall's pass over the head. Valaga adjusted nicely, just couldn't quite bring it in. Crowd starting to gather here, getting more and more fans in the stands. Things get a little more intense. Of course, this is a doubleheader for those of you who aren't aware. After the FMP game here today, we'll have a short break, and then the open teams will face off. The Eagan Ultimate doubleheader. Apple Valley still with possession deep in their corner near their zone.
Megan Wynn with a great swing, which allows Apple Valley offense to get around that cup like we talked about earlier. Great continuation throws. Eagan's defense is still yet to set up from those continuations. Finally gets that cup set up again.
Lamberson had that thought about the deep one and thought better of it. Eagles methodically moving things down the field, trying to find open players. Nice cut there right in between the zone. Here we go. Wind took that one, looked like at the last second, out of the hands. And I think sometimes they're taught to clap the hands, bottom and top, for just that reason, because you never know. If you try to put your hands out, at the same height, weird things can happen with the disc. Here's a long one. Valga trying to get there. Oh, great defensive play. Apple Valley stepping in nicely.
Oh, way to be heads up on the transition there, but an unfortunate execution error will give Eagan the disc closer to the end zone.
And the rule is, for those watching again, that when you catch the disc, you have to come to a stop as quickly as possible.
Yeah, that is definitely the common concept is a 3-step rule.
And there's the 5th point of the game for the Wildcats. I think that was delivered by number 80, Valga.
Yeah, to Anna Finwall, who's usually in the handler space, throwing the score herself. So an interesting position for her to find herself with a goal here in the conference championship game. Yeah, I'd love to see it.
So that's Anna Finwall again from Natalie Valga for a 5-1 lead with 9:20 to go. We'll take the break. We'll be back short after these short messages. Thank you very much.
This can't be happening. This can't be happening.
Of course it's not happening. Armored car. Listen, having money isn't about luck. Make your own coffee, save $1,000 a year. Feed me. Feed the pig.
Welcome back to Apple Valley, Minnesota. It's the South Metro Conference Championship. The Wildcats have jumped out to a 5-1 lead here in the first half. We got about 8:15 to go. That was the 5th point of the game, as mentioned by the Wildcats. They've scored the last 3. They were up 2-1. They've scored 3 straight. So looking fairly good so far for Eagan.
Yeah, I mean, coming out with that type of a mentality to open up the half, definitely going to be tough for Apple Valley to try to claw back with a number of breaks here. They're going to have to try to string a few together to try to get this lead cut down as early as possible before halftime comes into effect.
Might have a timeout here as the coaches and teams are chatting on the sidelines. We've had, again, 5 points for the Wildcats, all 5 coming from different players. Started off with an assist from number 10, Abby Kewen. She found number 20, Kelly Raleigh, and then Kewen once again assisted on the 2nd point to Natalie Valga. The 3rd point assist also to Kewen goes to number 15, Savannah Ward. The 4th one, the rarity in Ultimate Frisbee, the Callahan, the defensive score caught by Lucy Schenecker. Of course, no assist on that one. And then just recently, Valga with the assist, finding Anna Finwall. The lone point for Apple Valley, the assist went to Megan Wynn. We've seen her with the disc as a handler several times, doing a very good job setting up her teammates, making some good throws. And the point scored there by number 24, Emma Schwartz. So that is your scoring recap here in the first half. Again, 5-1 Wildcats as we're just about ready to do the poll here for the next point.
Yeah, I'm sure both of the coaches are probably telling their teams that they got to be reeling in some of those longer shots. The wind is doing them no favors with how aggressive it's coming in here. So I'm sure that's been a lot of the talks that have been going on here in these huddles between this point.
The success that we've seen from Apple Valley when they are able to move, it seems to be when they pick up the pace just a little bit, they're able to break that zone or the cup, if you will, and then if they move it quickly, it seems like then they're able to move the disc down the field. But that hasn't been as common, I think, as probably the coaches want.
Yeah, it's definitely frustrating when you have the offensive strategy set in place and you're just not seeing it being executed by your athletes out on the field, and I know it happens at every level. Whether you're new to the sport or you're a tenured vet, definitely can be frustrating for a coach at any stage to feel that frustration.
Also starting to see the boys teams for the second half of our doubleheader showing up, rooting on their.
Yeah, the crowd's getting a little more raucous here.
Exactly.
The presence.
Yep,
yeah.
starting to warm up. Eagan boys rooting on the Eagan FMP team here as we'll get things going. The pole goes just past the midline. Wildcats set up their zone. That was Tainter unable to connect. Quickly with it now. Goffman. That one's a little too low, so right back to the Eagles.
Not utilizing any fakes to move the cup, which is allowing them to be in pretty good positioning throughout the duration of the stall count.
Some better fakes there. She takes a safe route back. Once again, there's a stall count of 10 as called by the closest player to the handler. So eventually they start getting up towards, I suppose, 7 or 8. They start to get a little nervous, and then they have to find the nearest open person or just throw it as deep as you can.
Yeah, you can definitely see the panic set in once that stall count gets a little bit higher.
Just out of reach there. Goes a little bit longer into the end zone than the Wildcats were thinking, so they'll turn over possession. Here comes Eagles from their own goal line.
Apple Valley setting up in that horizontal stack. Typically what you see against a zone like this, their stack seems to be setting up a little deep and causing some delay in their offensive flow, which ends up in a turn here. Giving Eagan the disc pretty close to the end zone. Stuck on the sideline, so we'll see if they try to get the disc swung here. Straight up mark coming in by Apple Valley.
The wind got a hold of that one. They tried to swing that around, give themselves some more space. Ball goes out of the disc goes out of play, and then it's comes back in where it crossed the line, which is why you saw Eagan move that one up a little bit. Nicely moved here by Apple Valley. They're going to take advantage, go deep. Just in play, nicely done, right along the sidelines, the far side. Eagles connect on a deep one, but they can't transition quickly to take advantage, and Wildcats set up defensively. Oh, and there's a nice catch. Looked like that was going to be a turnover. Getting on it, hands on it was around below.
Yeah, you definitely want to come down with those defensive chances. You definitely want to make sure you're trying to catch those every time. Oh, especially with this wind, that's where, just like that there, you're going to see the disc pop up all too often. You want to make sure you're coming down with those Ds as opposed to just trying to mack them away.
When I've heard the phrase from players as well, catch your Ds. And
yes, exactly.
If you try to just knock it down, it doesn't necessarily go where you think it's going to go, and all of a sudden the other team catches it.
Exactly. You don't want to end up on some ESPN not top 10 because you didn't catch that defensive chance as opposed to letting them walk away with it.
And I have seen some crazy plays where it gets deflected again, all of a sudden someone comes diving out of nowhere and lays out for a great catch.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it's a different sport than a lot of the typical things you'll see in mainstream, where that disc is going to sit there for a little longer as opposed to a football or a baseball. So you've got definitely a lot more opportunity to make some diving plays, which can cause a lot more excitement in the opportunities on the field.
That D is knocked down, so the Wildcats setting up offensively. Looks like the vertical stack. Swinging around. Oh, nicely done. Nice catch there.
A lot of offensive cuts here coming out from the stack. Finally a completion, which allows Woofda to have maintain their chance here on this red zone attempt.
That was Herman. She finds Goffman. Goffin getting down close to the goal line.
Decent utilization of some fakes by Goffin. Just throws into the back of the heels of one of our receivers for Schumacher.
I don't know if maybe the stall count was getting up there, panicked a little bit. It might have been good if the cutter had turned around and was watching the disc. It looked like it had a fairly good chance, but no dice there. Coming up on the final 30 seconds a half. Of course, if the time runs out, they will play out the point.
Yeah, there's not so much of a shot clock in this this level of ultimate. You definitely get to finish out the point once the timer has reached our amount for half.
Nice cut. ISO can't quite connect. Just through the hands. Good diving attempt there by Schenecker.
Yeah, Lucy's been doing a good job of getting open on those undercuts all up and down the field, so awesome to see that happen.
Oh, great defense there by Alana Goffman. And the quick transition just off. She had her wide open. Look at the right mentality, right? I mean, she made the right read, just didn't quite technically pull it off.
The heads-up play was there, and it was in very timely fashion, ironically, as the buzzer went off with the timer. But again, like we said, we will get to finish out the point here, but great heads-up play and good transition there by Eagan offense.
So we should get a halftime as soon as the point is finished. And we'll take a break for that. Nice job, Apple Valley, swinging that around.
Yeah, Olivia Tainter, number 21, seems to be helping generate a lot of that offensive movement here for Apple Valley, with Megan Wynn being on the sideline for this point.
And there's the roll.
Yeah, unfortunate. No Eagan players were in the area to stop the disc from rolling further away from the end zone.
Loshi with a forehand, going long. Oh, out of nowhere. I believe that was Lucy Schenecker. Nicely done. Looking for that cut. She's got one, and the catch, and that is a point. The assist goes to Schenecker. Didn't quite catch the number on the point, but Eagan scores again.
Looked like 23, Alice Loshi. Loshi, apologies. Great continuation strike from number 23 going into the end zone there. To the forehand side, which is a little bit difficult for some individuals at this age, but good completion there for a nice score for Eagan.
That is 6-1, and that should be halftime here. So we will take the break. We'll be back after halftime is over. Thank you so much, everyone. Once again, this is the South Metro Conference Championship from Johnny Cake Ridge Stadium. It's Eagan 6, Apple Valley 1.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear. Call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
See, Smokey thinks I'm funny.
It's something about having that piece of paper. Some people think that's worth more than my skills.
I've run this place for 20 years, but I still need to prove that I'm more than what you see on paper.
You just gotta be so good they can't ignore you.
It's the way my mind works. I have a very mechanical brain.
Analytics and empathy. That's how I've gained clients.
I am more. I'm more than who I am on paper.
I'll see y'all.
got some batteries and 2 flashlights.
What's up, champ? I feel like you get taller every time I see you. Congratulations, Brandon.
Hey, we should volunteer for this.
I wish I had time.
Scrolling all day, time can disappear. Wanna make it count, why not volunteer?
Posting pics of your food, that takes up time. Maybe just eat me, I don't really mind.
Time, you've got time. As your reflection, it's my duty to say.
Grace Alogbo from Apple Valley. Willa Campion from Open World. Tess Campion from Open World. Nora Meyer from Red Wing. Annika Johnson from Red Wing. Olivia Tainter from Apple Valley. Allie Meyer from Red Wing. And Natalie Valiga from Eagan. And for Rookie of the Year, Kate Papinga from Eagan. Last, our All-Conference Coach of the Year, Rachel Knutson from Apple Valley. Congratulations to all the winners.
If you're buzzed and doing this, to make yourself feel okay to drive,
ZWX.
you're not okay to drive.
YGKLVW. Regular you.
My character, Shazam, knows all about growing up in a family full of teenage superheroes. They're bold.
Where's everyone going?
To fight crime?
Okay.
Adventurous. Shazam! There's never a dull moment. And no matter what happens, they'll always have your back. All they need is a place to grow and be themselves. And the best part is, you don't have to be a superhero to adopt a teen. Learn more about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org. You can't imagine the reward.
Thank you so much. Fostering a pet for a friend or neighbor can keep families together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
How do you know?
What's time for dinner?
Donating pet food can keep families together. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut, the one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. Of course, it's awkward to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping. Hey, bestie, how sketch is vaping? It's hard to get their attention. Ready? Go. Yes. Look at that. You even turn yours over. So if you want to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping, you got to get it trending.
No, you're doing it wrong. Let's go.
Can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
Hey, we should volunteer for this.
I wish I had time.
Scrolling all day, time can disappear. Wanna make it count? Why not volunteer?
Posting pics of your food, that takes up time. Maybe just eat me, I don't really mind.
Time, you've got time. As your reflection, it's my duty to say.
Time, I've got time.
All my pics are the same.
I am some eggs.
10 hours a week deciding where to go eat.
Well, where do you want to eat? Maybe let's not go out to eat.
You paint your walls from cream to white, and from white to cream, then back to white.
Time, you've got time. To binge all of season 9, though it got so bad.
Time, you got time. We're gonna grow back and be the same brows you had.
Time, you got time.
Listen to my plea as I harmonize.
Time, you've got time.
Zooba-doo-bop, wow.
Just a few hours to keep families from harm. Help us end home fires with Sound the Alarm. Volunteer for a day to install free smoke alarms in your community.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear, call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha 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 ha.
See, Smokey thinks I'm funny.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. For free tips to help you save, go to
Feed the pig. You know, how you feel on the inside is just as important to me as how you feel on the outside.
Oh, Daddy.
I'm grown up in every way, care and take care of you. You're my grown up and I know you're there. I'm your grown up and you know I care. 'Cause it's you and me and me and you. So when you are okay or not okay, I'll take care of you.
Wash, washy, wash, washy, wash, wash your hands. Scrub it while you sing this song. Wash, washy, wash, washy, wash, wash. Rub your hands and fingers and the places in between. Using soap and water makes your hands so clean. Wash your hands. Great job, you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now dry.
Wash your hands for 20 seconds, just like Elmo.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut, the one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
We are back at Johnny Cake Ridge Stadium in Apple Valley, Minnesota with Justin Wallen. My name is Skip Newton here for the South Metro Conference Championship. It's game number 1 of our South Metro Conference Championship doubleheader. First up, the FMP teams from Apple Valley and Eagan. Eagan currently has a 6-1 lead. Before we get into a little bit of the review of the first half, we just want to thank the awesome Eagan TV crew. This is the Ultimate Frisbee debut on Eagan TV, so thanks to Ken, Tim, Sarah, and Max. You guys are doing an awesome job making us look and sound so good as teams getting ready to take the field here for the second half. Again, Eagan 6, Apple Valley 1. Justin, from an Apple Valley point of view, what do they need to do to get back into this game?
Yeah, there's definitely been a lot of hucks coming out of the Apple Valley offense. They're starting to utilize a little bit more of their handler movement to get the disc swung across the field, to get around that cup that Eagan continues to throw from a defensive standpoint. That's definitely going to be the path to success for Apple Valley, to continue utilizing those swings within their handlers to move the disc laterally from one sideline to the next so that they can get around that cup and throw a lot of continuation throws to their rail cutters that are going up and down the sidelines on the outside there. Just in the space that the offense, or that the Eagan defense is allowing them to make the throws. That's going to be the plan of attack for Apple Valley. We'll see if that's been what was been talking about by Coach Rachel Knudsen to her team here today.
Yeah, excellent. I like those points. And from a Wildcat perspective, Coach Carr has to be pleased with the way this game has gone so far. He's out there just giving the final. Excuse me, that was Alicia Carr out there, Coach Carr's. The marriage combo of Pete and Alicia doing their awesome job coaching, but they got to be pleased with the first half, and it's a lot of, hey, just keep doing what you're doing, keep playing smart Frisbee, and things should go our way.
Yeah, I'm sure that's exactly the mentality that they've been given to the team here in the second half. Continue doing what you're doing. The Wall's doing a great job of helping take anything over the top, and the Cup's doing a great job of staying tight together and not allowing a lot of disc to go through the wall to allow for those continuation cuts in the backspace.
Apple Valley has possession on our right, going right to left for this point. The opening pull of the second half, a fairly good one, just landing in bounds. Nicely done there as Abby Kewen, named to the all-conference team at halftime, starts it off with a long one. Nice defense there. Mary March gets in the way, knocking that one. She had an open player past Mary March if she doesn't get her hands on that.
Yeah, you definitely you see Abby Kewen with the hat trick of assists here today, but you definitely got to crack a few eggs to make a few omelets. Throwing a deep shot there for an incompletion.
I like to see switching up. We haven't seen a lot of long ones from the Wildcats. I'd like to see them switch things up just a little bit, just to test that Apple Valley defense, make sure they don't get too complacent as far as always expecting what Eagan can do. Of course, when you're up 6-1, things are going well, and there's just an unfortunate drop by Wynn.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see if Eagan can adjust and do a little bit more small ball to try to get the disc progressed down the field, as opposed to taking those deep shots, which are definitely more risky, especially with all the wind that we have here this afternoon.
Valiga just loses her footing, but kept the disc in possession. Got a couple of cutters. She's looking for someone to get open. Kewen does a nice job changing direction there. She's going to go long. It's a nice throw. Let's see if Ward can get there, just out of her reach.
Yeah, it's tough reading those high-angled shots like that there. Again, especially with this wind, it twice as much. So to read those, that type of the flight path that the disc is going to take there, and unfortunately, Eagan coming up short from the read.
I thought when she first let it go, when Abby first let it go, I thought that one was going to be perfect. But yeah, I think the wind definitely played a factor in here. Quick turnover back to the Wildcats. Finwall looking for Kewen.
Anna throwing just a great forehand toss there. A lot of touch with a lot of rotation on the disc, so I can just sit out there for Abby Kewen to come down to their first goal on the day.
So the first point of the second half goes to the Wildcats. That was Finwall with the assist. Abby Kewen, her first point. We'll keep it right here. I think for this one we don't need to take a break. But 7-1, Eagan picking up where they left off. They've scored now 5 points in a row.
Yeah, 5 unanswered is a great train to get started, and especially to carry over from one half into the next. Eagan doing a great job. Looks like Alicia Carr is rotating the offensive defensive lines here, giving everybody opportunity to get some playing reps here. Looks like Anna stayed, though. They need somebody to be able to send the disc deep with a nice huck for the pull. Looks like that'll be Anna's duty here coming in for this next point.
Looks like the Wildcats have about 8 players on the bench, so it's a smaller roster of 15.
Yeah, Eagan has definitely been a little bit lighter in roster size. I know back, my younger sister also used to play for the Wolfton program here growing up, and it is definitely a smaller size roster, which allows for a lot of playing time, which is great. Only, of course, if you've got enough endurance to be able to run for all the points. Definitely a great sport to get into if you're looking to get a little bit active, just as it is a lot of running going on the field there.
Yeah, we've talked about the roster size at tournaments especially, and I remember one where it was especially warm at the state tournament that first weekend in June, and by the end of that Sunday, the teams are just gassed, and they didn't want to do it anymore. It was about 90 degrees. There's a long huck from Apple Valley falling down. Eagles player. Let's see if there's a call here. Could be the first of the game. I don't think she's going to make any sort of call. No contact there. Wasn't sure if number 15 there, senior captain Grace Alogbo, was going to say that maybe she was interfered with on her route.
Yeah, it looked like it might have been a little bit of incidental contact with the feet there. Sometimes you don't always see players make that call just so they don't think it was an actual intentional foul. Great defensive read there by 83 for Apple Valley. Taylor Condis with a great poach out of the zone there, or the wall. The first stack there for a great D to allow Apple Valley here to get back on offense with good position here in the red zone.
Alogbo with it now. Again, senior captain going long. Just out of the reach. Good effort there. Far side of the end zone. That was in play. That would have been a point if she'd have been able to get there and potentially lay out for that one.
Yeah, it was a good effort by 13 there. Mary March just not making the decision to lay out for a potential effort.
Eagan struggling to get out of their own zone. Another defensive play there. Nicely done by the Eagles.
Yeah, Condis coming up with 2 Ds there in quick succession, allowing Apple Valley to have another shot.
Speaking of good defense, Eagan knocks that one, but again, like we talked about earlier, that one up in the air a little bit. That was a dangerous one. That could have been caught still.
Yeah, I'd be it's strongly encouraging Finwell there to be catching that one next time from the sideline if I was Pete or Alicia over there on the sideline.
This is Megan Wynn. She has the assist on the lone Eagle point. Nice pass there just outside the end zone. Eagles knocking on the doorstep here, looking for point number 2. And they get it right there. Nice cut by Grace Alogbo.
Yeah, Olivia utilizing some good patience. Olivia Tainter on the assist there. She's definitely been helping out on a lot of those points to help move their offensive handler set through the cup against Eagan's zone, and you see her expertise there capitalize with such close positioning there for another goal.
Tainter to Alogbo for the point. It's now 7-2. We will take a break. We'll be back after this short one.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver. And we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
How you holding up? Nothing wrong with getting help.
If I promise to look into it, will you drop it and help me build this fence?
Now you need my help.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Welcome back to Apple Valley, Minnesota. It's the South Metro Conference Championship right now. Apple Valley trailing Eagan 7-2. We are at 37.5 minutes to go here in half number 2. Once that time runs out, whichever team is ahead will be the victors unless one team gets to 15 points before then. That will be the end of the game.
Yeah, it's been a great string of points here for Eagan. You're probably going to see some excitement here coming off of Apple Valley's second score of the game, so we'll see if Eagan can be as dominant on offensive line here as they have been on defensive lines throughout the game. We'll see what kind of defense Apple Valley comes with, whether it's zone or person defense. We'll see what the matchup looks like, and hopefully Eagan is able to be patient with the disc with a lot of the again, with the wind coming into effect. As long as we're taking some shorter shots, see a lot more offensive efficiencies here for the Woofta team.
It does seem like the wind has been mostly a crosswind, where we're not seeing any sort of advantage to heading in a particular direction.
Yeah, which is honestly a good thing in my opinion. With an upwind, downwind as opposed to a crosswind, you see a lot more one-sided matches or a lot low-scoring games just because it's so difficult to throw upwind versus a crosswind where there's still a little opportunity to have easier throws versus all of Mother Nature coming directly at you, trying to throw a little bit of plastic into the wind.
Yeah, I have seen one match where it was a really hard wind in your face, and basically every point was scored with the wind, and the one team that was able to break ended up being the victors because all they had to do was just hold serve basically after that.
Yep, if you can't get a break, it basically comes down to who won the coin toss at the beginning of the game, which is a tough way to see a sport decided for sure. Eagan setting up with another end zone chance. Looks like they're going to go back to a vertical stack as they are a little bit outside of the end zone.
All-conference player Abby Kewen.
And she's utilizing some restraint and holding off on the second cut and completes it into 5 yards out, it looks like.
Savannah Ward. Kewen breaking. Nice cut for the point. Making it look easy are the Wildcats.
Yeah, wash, rinse, repeat there for Kewen. Just going strike up line, roasting her defender, getting them caught on their heels for a very open throw there.
Point number 3 of the game was Kewen to Ward. This one goes in reverse fashion. It's Ward to Kewen. So now Kewen with 3 assists in the first half. She has 2 points here in the second. We're at 34-45, and it is now 8-2 Wildcats. So nice job answering the point by Apple Valley.
Yeah, very, very stellar offense there. I know there's a couple turnovers through the point, but capitalizing when you're close on the end zone like that, that's exactly what you're looking to see. Crowd's looking to pick up here a little bit more as well as the open game taking place here next. You can see the varsity programs warming up off to the side there at this gorgeous complex here we got at Johnny Cake Ridge. It's a pretty busy day over here. I saw football or baseball and some softball games going on across the street. It's a very, very lively day here with the gorgeous weather we're getting, which is great.
Yeah, and you gotta get those games in when you can for these school sports because, like we talked about earlier, we are a week and a half away from graduation, and it just these sports seasons are so fast for schools.
Especially early in the spring here in Minnesota, you run the risk of a lot of snow and rain cancellations of practices and games. I know there's always a lot of rescheduling of games for Ultimate, just with how it's hard to find indoor space and it's difficult to get a full season in such a short duration, especially with a lot of weather effects happening throughout the early parts of the season.
Nice pull here for Wildcats at 33-20 of the second half. Apple Valley with possession, trailing 8-2. Looking to pick up where they left off on their previous O-line point as they executed well for their second point of the game, first of the half. And a couple of girls here cutting to the same spot.
Yeah, they definitely set up horizontally, imagining Eagan would come zone, and you can see the delay in the first possession there as their cutters transitioned into a vertical stack.
Wynn unable to one-hand that catch. March thought about the long huck, but thought differently, and now Kewen has it. Swings it around. Nice defensive play.
Conus again with another defensive stop there, reading that flight path very well from the Eagan offense.
Yeah, that's three defensive knockdowns just in this half alone for Conus.
Great cut by 21, and finally the throw goes off as she's almost onto the break side of the field. Little head nod to indicate the cut to the far side, and it's caught by Apple Valley, number 13. Riley Lamberson coming down with the third goal for the Apple Valley Eagles here today.
Tainter with another assist. That was a beautiful one. I mean, she read that perfectly, almost like a quarterback, just telling the wide receiver, nope, over there, and just she put that thing exactly where it needed to go, and that was a thing of beauty.
That was very well executed.
So we are at 8-3 here with 31.5 to go. We'll take a short break. We'll be back after these moments.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depressing stuff. That's what white people think. You alright?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
Fostering a pet for a friend or neighbor can keep families together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
It's the South Metro Conference Championship here in Apple Valley, Minnesota. You are watching the Apple Valley Eagles FMP Ultimate Team versus the WUFTA, the Wildcats Ultimate Flying Disc Association. I don't want to say how many years it took me to finally get that one, because WUFTA, when I started, it was my daughter playing, and so I just assumed the W meant women's. And then all of a sudden I went to the boys' side, and they were saying go WUFTA. I'm like, wait a minute, WUFTA sounds for both?
Yeah, interesting acronym for sure. You see a lot of organizations utilize that U in their acronym for their team name. Prior Lake, for example, their Prior Lake Ultimate Team organization, I think, for Pluto. Very crafty use.
Ooh,
of
I like
the
that.
U.
Pluto,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Pull goes out of bounds, so downfield, good possession, but quick defense there by senior captain Alogbo. Nicely done. Steps right in front of that. 8-3 here, Wildcats. Apple Valley with possession, looking to score 2 consecutive points for the first time.
Win with a good shot, but was going to get to a receiver, but luckily for WUFTA, number 10, Abby Kewen is able to get there for the D, and a great throw to number 15, Ward, again, for some great yardage on an offensive possession here.
Kewen to Ward to Kewen. Now Kewen's going long, looking to connect. She does. That one's popping. A freshman of the year for the conference, Kate Poppinga.
Finally completing that deep hawk with a continuation right back to Kewen. Almost some give and go action on a very deep cut there from Kewen to track down that goal in the end zone.
Third consecutive point scored by Eagan's Abby Kewen, the senior captain and all-conference player. She's having a great half with 3 points in the first, or 3 assists in the first half, now 3 points in the second half.
Yeah, a hat trick of assists just wasn't enough for her in the first half. She wants a hat trick of goals as well.
Hopefully some of these seniors that are really getting into the sport can really consider, if they have the opportunity when they go to college this fall, continuing on. And this is one of those sports I know where it doesn't end in high school, it doesn't end in college. You see a lot of players in their 30s, 40s, and beyond playing in adult leagues and different club teams.
Yeah, that's very true. I definitely throw out the phrase around a lot that ultimate is a lifestyle choice, not just a sport. It can very quickly take up a lot of aspects from moving on from college into club as an adult, moving into coaching as well, as with further opportunities after you're looking to maybe end your career, much like the Cars themselves. I know Pete and Alicia played for many years themselves, and Alicia's still playing and is currently on the professional Minnesota Strike roster for the state team here. So she's still rocking her professional and ultimate career, all while coaching for the Eagan Wildcats. So I'm definitely can become a lifestyle opportunity for you versus just a sport.
The one thing I've also noticed is it's a pretty tight community as well. You get a lot of people at these tournaments. Everybody knows each other, and there's a good feeling of camaraderie. Of course, they've played together, on club teams, or they've coached or played against each other as well. So you kind of get to know a lot of the same people.
Yeah, it is definitely a networking opportunity as well. Anybody and everybody basically knows each other in Ultimate, between playing club seasons together and jumping around teams, playing in seasonal, seasons as well for like more non-traditional rec leagues. People will play in the fall, winter, spring, all year round, indoors, and obviously we get a lot of snow, but there's so many opportunities just to play with a lot of folks that it's definitely a tight-knit community, like you mentioned.
That pass from Wynn out of the reach.
Yeah, it was a good shot by Apple Valley to get through the zone there for Eagan, right through the cup there for Egan's defense, but unfortunate, not able to come down with the disc for Apple Valley.
Apple Valley got a little fortunate there as Alogbo swung and missed on the defense, but went through the hands of Kelly Raleigh.
Yeah, we're still seeing a lot of longer hucks here with some success in the half, but still a lot of turnovers on those higher contested throws, on those longer shots, that huck completion percentage. I don't have it offhand, but I cannot imagine it being a very high one right now.
Wynn's going to go long. Kewen's there defensively. Gets a couple of fingers on it, just enough to knock it safely to the turf.
Very well positioned by Ewan there. Ultimate Frisbee is a non-contact sport, so if any sort of foul might have been called there, that disc might have been right back in the hands of Apple Valley, but due to the great footwork by Ewan there, was able to stay clear of her defender and got the nice D.
Wynn catches that one, immediately looks for a long completion down the far sideline, but that one drifts out of play. We'll see where Eagan pulls that one in. I imagine it went out just a few yards up, not too far. An interesting strategy thing, if you will, or a rule thing I noticed from the tournament a couple weekends ago, where when the ball is thrown out of bounds, if the defensive player touches it while it's in the air, then they have to take it from that spot on the sideline, whereas if they just let it land, then they're able to bring it up to where it went out of play.
Yeah, that can definitely be a ticky-tacky strategy play, depending on where the disc goes out of bounds. If it leaves the area of play and is untouched by the defending team, it comes in right where the disc went out of bounds, which is usually advantageous for offense. Great D there again by Egan's Cup with another great hand block there. I missed who it was, but another great opportunity here for Egan in the red zone.
Here's Kewen again, catching one far sideline. She's going to look for another assist. She's got an open girl, and she completes it. Kewen having a whale of game. That's her fourth assist, her first of the second half.
Yeah, and Lucy as well. Schoenecker coming down with her first, second goal of the day, first goal assisted by a Woofda player after she got that Callahan there in the first half. Fun for her to come down with the goal, assist, and a Callahan. I'm sure she's got a defense at some point too, so she's racking up the stats in about every category we have available to the ultimate player.
So Schoenecker from Kewen, and we'll take a short break after these messages. We'll be back.
You know, how you feel on the inside is just as important to me as how you feel on the outside.
Oh, Daddy.
I'm grown up in every way. Care and take care of you. You're my grown up, and I know you're there. I'm your grown up, and you know I care. 'Cause it's you and me and me and you. So when you are okay or not okay, I'll take care of you.
Welcome back. It's game one of the doubleheader. It's the South Metro Conference Championship games. Right now, the Eagan Wildcats with a comfortable 10-3 lead. We've got 22 minutes left here in the second half. Game two, Eagan Wildcats and Woodbury Ultimate. Those boys are warming up to the north of us, getting ready for that opening pull, which is right around 7:30. So stay tuned for that as the girls are just about ready to do the pull for the next point here. Finwall gets it midfield. Apple Valley will take over. Eagan scored a couple points in a row. Apple Valley's got 2 points this half, so 6-1 at half, now 10-3.
Yeah, moved adjusting to the person defense, going one-on-one. Apple Valley looking a little lively here with some good offensive movement against the non-zone defense.
Yeah, they definitely look like they feel more comfortable against a man defense. Wynn cutting open. She's one of the better handlers on the field. We'll see if she can find someone open here from the point.
Good step out and a good grab. Way to pull it in by 83, Condis. You saw a lot of those great defenses earlier on where she's helping their team get possession offense. And now she comes down with the disc for her first goal on the afternoon.
So senior Taylor Condis scoring the point here for Apple Valley, their 4th of the match. An assist going to number 95, senior captain Megan Wynn. That's her 2nd assist. So we talked about Wynn earlier, producing a lot of offense, and we saw it definitely on that point there.
Yeah, when you saw her sneak into the cutting space there as she came for that under, which allowed that completion to put them right in striking distance of the end zone. The most dangerous ultimate player is a handler out in the cutting space, in my opinion. That's if you can get somebody cutting under, gain some nice 10, 20 yards into power position just to continue that throw with a nice hug downfield. All it takes is 2 throws to be right in the end zone.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot over the years where you get like a really good cutter. They get one, fairly well down the field, but they don't feel as comfortable throwing the disc, and so they'll hesitate to make that quick transition to the next open player, and you'll see the opportunity kind of go begging a little bit, like, oh man, that could have been a quick score. Whereas, like you said, if the handler is the one on the receiving end, well, they're going to feel very comfortable just getting rid of it right away, and that can lead to just boom, 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 and all of a sudden you've got a point in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, especially at the high school level, that ability to throw the disc, both forehand and backhand, is a big learning curve for a lot of programs, especially at the junior varsity level. That's typically a focal point throughout the course of the season, just to make sure that everybody can throw the disc, because once that's achievable, any team can be very dangerous. St. Louis Park, a couple years back, their varsity program came from usually not in a part of the D1 tournament play at state, and to more recently just everybody being able to throw the disc in every way imaginable. They've exploded into some dominancy at the D1 level at the state tournament. So if you can get everybody to throw, you can definitely win some games for your program.
Oh, a little miscommunication there. Finwall thought she had Kewen coming back. Kewen cut further downfield, so the turnover, and Eagan right back to the zone. As you can hear, the wind is not going to die down for us. It's going to be nasty, I think, all night long, as it is gusting probably up in the 30 to 40 mile an hour range, I would imagine. Tainter unable to knock that one down. It's still Apple Valley possession, but probably cost about 20 yards of position there on the field.
Yeah, that is going to put Wynn in a tough spot with her cleats on her, basically on her own end zone, right around in Callahan territory. Again, let's see if the Eagan move to wall cup can get another hand on this disc.
Saw that in the first half. Lucy Schenecker with the Callahan, the defensive score, a rarity, but a big one nonetheless. Nice job breaking through there. Alogbo, and now Apple Valley on the move.
A little bit of bump there, but no call on the contact. Seems like everybody's okay.
Yeah, this has been one of the cleanest games I think I've ever seen. I don't want to be, totally predicting, but I would imagine we won't see that with the next match between Woodbury and Eagan. I think there'll be a lot more contact.
Yeah, it could be. That definitely could be the case. You see a little bit more contact at the open division. Always looking to have some safe play, though, happen, especially for conference champs. You don't want nothing too crazy happenings, but I guess we'll see how the second portion of the games go this afternoon.
And just to clarify some terminology for people watching at home, we refer to the next match, the open match, because a lot of times schools won't have enough players to field the traditional boys and girls. So you'll see, very commonly, team that has majority boys, but we'll have a couple girls playing on it. Thus, they refer to those teams as open because it's open to any player.
Yeah. Yeah, still up-and-coming sport, Ultimate is, and not every program has the opportunity to have both rosters typically. So you'll see that happen time to time, and I've seen a number of female matching players kick a number of open athletes that I've coached myself in the past. So it is always a fun time playing Ultimate, especially once you get past the high school level. At the club level, there's a mixed division, so the opportunity to play guys and girls together in the field at the same time is a fun experience in and of itself to have the opportunity to play as well. So it's cool to have that opportunity at the high school level, which you don't typically see.
Well, I like how they do the state in the summer, where you'll have female matching, you'll have open, but then you'll have mixed as well. And I know my daughter was fortunate enough to play after her senior year on the mixed side and really enjoyed playing with Doug's team. And you're competing against teams from other states, and that was a really good experience for her.
Yeah, the YCC program here is a fun opportunity to continue playing, especially at the high school level. It's a very quick season for the typical high school season, but getting the opportunity to play at some of those continuing programs, it's awesome to see, because you see so much exponential growth out of the athlete. If you just get more time to play, more opportunities with the disc in their hands, is definitely see the folks coming back from those programs a lot more talented the following season for your program, which is great.
A little bit of back and forth here on this point. Kewen has it for the Wildcats. That one's just in and out of the hands. Tough catch there. That was number 23, Alice Loshi.
Yeah, as we get later into the game here, with being conference champs, I'm sure coaches have been running, tighter lines than they probably have typically been all season. So you can see the fatigue start to set in on some of the players here, with making the throws a little bit more difficult.
Speaking of difficult, a difficult catch there, but a good one nonetheless. I believe that was Condis on the catch. I know that. Was that Win on the throw? I can't remember. Okay, Win on the throw, but we're seeing, are they debating whether or not she was in play?
Looks like there's a conversation about where her footing might be on that far sideline there in the end zone.
No line on the sideline, so it's best judgment of the players. And once again, there's no referee here. There's no official call. The players have to figure this out for themselves. They can ask for the definition or the explanation of rules from coaches, but the coaches cannot give an opinion.
That's correct. Yeah, it looks like it is going to be a goal here.
Second straight there for Condis from Win. So Win to Condis again, connecting 10-5. So much better half here for Apple Valley. It was a lopsided first half, 6-1, but so far here, all knotted up 4 apiece here in the second half. We're just under 13 minutes to go. I think we're going to hold it here. I'm guessing they're going to try to get this off fairly quickly.
Yeah, you see Rachel Knutson, coach for the Apple Valley Eagles, is already out there giving some insight on how they're looking to quickly transition this D into another score here as the clock does continue to dwindle down. You see a lot of the same individuals out there for the Apple Valley roster as it's come crunch time, and it's time for Apple Valley to make a move.
Yeah, I feel like we're calling a lot of the same names here for Apple Valley. Olivia Tainter, junior, number 21, number 95, senior captain Megan Wynn, number 83, senior Taylor Condis, number 15, senior captain Grace Alogbo. Though those 4 have been the mainstays, the names that we're saying the most. They've been out there a lot.
Yeah, Rachel has definitely been, Knutsen's been keeping the lines a lot looser throughout the regular season to help develop the team throughout multiple stages of the game. But when you come down to conference champs and that trophy and that championship's on the line, you're definitely going to tighten things up a bit and try to run some of the folks that you know can get the job done.
Eagan getting final coaching tips here from co-coach Alicia Carr. Get ready to start this point momentarily. Of course, it's a running clock, so this does eat into the time, as would a timeout, if I'm correct, right? If they call a timeout, does that stop the clock? Nope, it does not. I'm getting the official rule here. Watch that disc completely jump up and down there with the wind. That was crazy.
Yeah,
nice pull, though.
It was a great pull. Got it up into the stratosphere there, and the wind definitely helped carry it into some favorable position for the Apple Valley defense here. They're definitely looking to try to get some pressure on as they switch to the person defense. Anna having to throw the disc on a high stall count. And it looks like we might have a stall call coming off from the mark here for Apple Valley.
Potentially negating a great catch there by Eva Herman, although if she hadn't caught it, it would be a turnover anyway, so it's good that she did. At least they can have the conversation, but it looks like, yeah, a stall count might have been made. We'll see what they come to agreement with.
Logbo pleading her case to say that she'd reach the T and 10 for the stall count to go off. Anna looks like she is agreeing with it, so it will be a turnover here.
Now, what I like here is the sportsmanship. You talked about it earlier. It's a big part of Ultimate Frisbee, and just dropping the disc, saying, "Yep, that's a turnover on near point." Long puck there.
Yeah, like I said, the spirit of the game definitely a component of the game. Without the officiation of any outside governing body, you have to be able to fall back on some rules and have some good spirited competition to make the game flow as competitively as possible still.
One of my favorite aspects of that is it takes the screaming from the parents on the sidelines completely out of the game, and that is not something that you normally see. You don't see that kind of peacefulness at any level of youth sports. Unfortunately, I've been exposed to it as we all, but from a parent point of view, it is so nice when all you are here to do is root on not only good play by your kid or your team, but you feel more inclined to root on great plays from the other team.
Definitely, yeah. Very, very fun aspect to the game. Helps save on some costs too, and having to pay for officials on a consistent basis. I know how pricey that officiating crew can be.
Yeah, it's a great point. A nice turnover here. Oh, just out of the reach of a Logbo. It was the right read there by Wynn. She just overthrew her by a little bit.
A lot of great transitions for Apple Valley, moving from defense to offense with a lot of good shots from Wynn. A lot of opportunities to come down with some goals, but typically falling just out of reach. Who's to say there might not be a different result right now if there had been a little less wind going on with all these great shots that Wynn's been putting out there.
Down to about 8 minutes here in the match. Kewen. Finds Ward. There's Wynn defensively.
Eagan transitioning very quickly into that zone defense again. Getting that cup in place early, trying to get a high stall count off before Apple Valley can make any movement with the disc is a good coaching. I'm sure that's been hammered into all their heads from multiple practices by Pete and Alicia Carr.
It was almost a really nice boom passing play there, but just dropped.
Yeah, Apple Valley's doing a good job of getting some offensive flow started with those initiating swing throws to their handlers, and if that completion would have gone off there, that would have been a very advantageous position for Apple Valley offense.
Valga to Kewen, I believe. Kewen looking for an open cutter. Got Ward and others deep. We'll see the wind push that one deep into the far side of the field. Not able to get there either of the Wildcat cutters, so it'll be Apple Valley possession at their own goal line. We're down to under 6:45.
Yeah, Abby threw that one at a pretty high launch angle there. So Kuhn's toss definitely getting eaten up by the wind and being uncatchable for a lot of the Eagan cutters there, even though there was 2 of them in the area.
Apple Valley on their own goal line. Here's Wynn. One of the MVPs of the Eagles thus far today.
Seen some good movement there, and a good continuation through the cup. The one that the Apple Valley was able to get off just a bit low, causing an unfortunate turn for Apple Valley Eagles.
Finwall picks it up. He's got Kewen cutting. Kewen has possession, not in the zone yet.
Great 7 cut by Kewen. And a great 7 cut from Finwall there to catch the disc. Not the intended receiver. Looked like the throw was intended for an individual behind Finwall, but on a great heads-up 7 cut by Finwall, comes down with the completion.
So a great point, yes, and I will absolutely agree that was not the intended target. But tell me exactly what a 7 cut is.
Yeah, all those goals that we've been seeing, Kewen come up with those strike cuts going to the front corner of the end zone. That's where we've been seeing a lot of those goals come off. But in that individual play there, a lot of great defense played by Apple Valley, taking away those strike cuts finally after being beaten a few times on it, forcing the handler movement to make a 7 cut. I wish I had a laser pointer for those watching at home that could show that on the field. But that goal you see Anna catching there as she's making that cut back to the middle of the field is that kind of drawing of a backward 7 almost with her cut continuation, which was exactly where she ended up snagging that goal there.
Okay, so the 7 is kind of the path of the player, as it were. Okay, that makes sense. Moving up towards the turn.
Yeah, Abby Kewen sets herself up great with a 7 cut to allow that break throw go off to the middle of the field, which puts her into about 1 yard off the goal line for an easy continuation there to Anna. So good handler progressions there from Wildcat offense.
That is Anna's 2nd point, according to my stat sheet here, and we've had 5 assists for Abby Kewen to go with her 3 points. So 8 of the 11 has been a Kewen involvement one way or the other.
Yeah, definitely a career day for her as she's coming out to show out with the pressure on for the conference championships game, with the broadcast being recorded. She's definitely putting on a show for everybody at home.
Just about ready for the next pull here by the Wildcats. It's a good one. Now you'll often see, oh no. She touched it before it hit the ground, and on a pull, that is an immediate turnover. I was just gonna say you'll often see them let them just hit the ground so they don't have to worry about it. Just a mental error there.
Yeah, it happens to everybody. And it's the need is to have a quick transition to get back on defense so you can get the disc back for your team. And Tainter does help make a play on the D there to get the disc back, so she will retain the disc back on offense for the Eagles. And absolutely sends a huck to about half field, and a great D by Eagan. Good positioning by 13, I believe. Excuse me, 23. 23 there. Alice Loshi with a great D and swing to start the offensive point there.
Oh, just out of the hands. I think that was Kelly Raleigh. Scored the first point of the game from Kewen. Almost got another one there. That was close to the goal line.
No surprise, it's Megan Wynn back to pick up the disc.
Got Tainer cutting.
Great. Good cut. Unfortunate drop by Tainter. we'll see what kind of end zone set Woofta comes up with here. Looks like a vert stack.
A little behind Kewen, and now looking for a quick transition are the Eagles. They're going to go for it. She's got her just out of her reach, but they're going to get a little bit of a roll all the way down to the corner of the zone. So flipping the field here with 1:20 to go. Of course, they will finish the point if it lasts that long. Eagan comfortably ahead 11-5. Their conference championship in hand, as it were.
Yeah, it would be pretty tough to come back at this point in time. Eagan hoping to just maintain some offense here, burn out the clock, and score the last goal to finish off the game.
Get the championship trophy ready here. The presentation shortly after the end of the contest, down to 40 seconds. Eagles want to finish strong.
Yeah, it can create a bit of an interesting scenario where sometimes you don't score the last goal of the game, but you still won the game just with time running out. Whereas typically you're trying to run to that full 15-point total. Can be an interesting feeling at the end of the game for sure.
Long one out of the reach of Raleigh, so back to Apple Valley. Raleigh, the senior spirit captain for the Wildcats. And that one just off the hands of the Eagles, so back to Eagan. This is the final point of the match.
Looks like we got a foul call on the throw there from Loshi. They're talking it out. Looks like the disc is going to come back, so Loshi's going to get another opportunity with the disc. We'll wait for a tap in here by the mark. Number, looks like 24, Emma Schwartz for Apple Valley.
The open team starting to file into the benches on their respective sidelines. Once again, the second half of the doubleheader, Woodbury and Eagan coming up at 7:30. We'll take a break before the games, but we'll bring you the play-by-play and commentary for that exciting matchup for the South Metro Conference Championship. Incomplete.
Looked like a run-through D for Loshi.
Just in and out of the hands. That would have been the end of the game. Raleigh couldn't quite corral that one.
Win with the disc again. We have a completion out of the end zone this time.
Another nice one as well. It was March before. That one's Condis.
Yeah, that was a bit of a tough read there for Condis to come down with it, but great cut, great reception through and through.
Another nice pass there. Here we go for the point, and it is there. Apple Valley wraps things up.
Tainter with the assist over to, looked like Mary March, number 13, to finish the game off. Olivia Tainter picks up a hat trick for herself at the very last play of the game.
So the final score here, the conference championship going to the Eagan Wildcats by a score of 11-6. Eagan took control right away. They scored the first couple points. Apple Valley got one, but then really the four straight to end the first half kind of set the tone, and it was a fairly even second half, but Apple Valley just couldn't get that run in the second half.
Yeah, that break train in the first half definitely helped set Eagan up for a great opportunity to maintain a good pace for the rest of the game and definitely helped them close out for the victory here.
Some high points here for both teams. We saw a lot of great action on the Apple Valley side. We mentioned Megan Wynn, highly involved in the scoring, as well as number 83, Taylor Condas. Big plays from number 15, Grace Alogbo, senior captain, along with Captain Wynn as well. We already mentioned her. From the Eagan side, the individual highlight, of course, on the rare play, the Callahan from number 12. It was a big one, Lucy Schenecker, and that was back in the first half for the fourth point to give Eagan a 4-1 lead. But other than that, it's been highly dominated by senior captain, the number 10 there, Abby Kewen. I mean, just a lot of assists in the first half. Started off with 3 straight goals in the second half, and she was dominant really all around.
Yeah, she's got the throws to be the main handler there for the offense for the Woofta program, and that paired with her speed, you saw that in all of her strike cuts going into the end zone. Very dangerous player to have on your offense, and very, very difficult, unable by Apple Valley to lock it down.
All right, well, we are going to take a break as we get ready for Game 2 of our doubleheader. Once again, thank you to that fantastic Eagan TV crew, Sarah, Max, Tim, and Ken. Outstanding job. For Justin Wallen, my name is Skip Newton. Don't go away for long. 7:30 game time coming up next. It's the Open Woodbury Ultimate versus Woofta Eagan Wildcats coming up at 7:30. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back right here on Eagan TV.